I am making a numeron eldlich deck profile. I decided to make this version of numeron after my Go First trap control version of numeron wasn't working out so well. Starting off with the monsters, I play 3 copies of numeron wall. You get rid of this card from your hand during your opponent's end phase to activate numeron network from deck. Then I play 3 copies of Aruha and Reika. These are only played so that you can use numeron chaos ritual. Then finish off the monsters, I play 3 copies of Eldlich the Golden Lord, just for more control variants. And that's it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells, I play 1 copy of Eldlixir White Destiny. White Destiny lets you special summon a Golden Lord from your hand or graveyard, or lets special summon a zombie, but unless you control Golden Lord, it has to be Golden Lord. And then all the elixirs you can banish from your graveyard at any time to then set a Golden Lands trap from your deck. Or a Golden Lands spell or trap. When I play 1 copy of 7 Cities of the Golden Lands, this just lets you fusion summon, and if you special summon a zombie while it's on the field, you can target one of your opponent's spells or traps that are face down, they can't activate that turn. Play 1 copy of Glorious Numbers. 13 of the 15 cards in the extra deck are numbers. So it's just a monster reborn for numbers while you control no monsters, and it lets you draw a card. And you can banish it from your graveyard to take 1 card in your hand and attach it to an Xyz monster as material. Then I play 2 copies of Numeron Chaos Ritual. This can only be activated the turn that Chaos number 1 is destroyed by a monster effect. And lets you take a Numeron network and then 4 other numbers that are in your graveyard or banished and overlay them to summon Numeronius. Then I play 2 copies of Numeron Calling. Calling just lets you summon 4 gates while you control Numeron network, but you only get 1 more special summon after that. Then 3 copies of Elixir of Black Awakening. Lets you special summon a zombie monster from your hand or your deck, but if you don't control Golden Lord, it has to be Golden Lord. And once again, you can banish it from your graveyard to then set a Golden Lands spell or trap in your deck, and you can only use 1 of the 2 effects per turn. Then I play 3 copies of Cursed Eldland. Cursed Eldland lets you pay 800 life points to search for I think it has to be a Golden Lands. Yeah, add an Eldlich monster or 1 Golden Land spell or trap in your deck to your hand, and if it's sent from the spell and trap zone to the graveyard, you can send an Eldlich monster or Golden Land spell or trap from your deck to the grave. Then I play 3 copies of Numeron Network. This just lets you send a Numeron card from your deck or spell or trap, or a Numeron spell from your deck to the grave, and then mimic its effects. And then Numeron monsters on the field do not have to use a material to activate their abilities. Then moving on to the traps. I play 2 copies of Eldorado Adelantado. I play this card so I can recycle resources. Or if you control an Eldritch monster, you can use 1 or 2 effects. Shuffle 3 elixir spells or traps with different names to your deck, and if you do, destroy all cards on the field. Or 3 golden land spells or traps with different names into your deck, and if you do, have your opponent's life points, and then basically still have your opponent's life points. I just like it in order to recycle some of those resources, mainly the elixirs or elixirs, mainly the golden lands, because you need those more than the elixirs. Speaking of which, I play 3 copies of Eldixir Scarlet Sanguine. Scarlet Sanguine just lets you summon Eldritch from your hand or your deck, and then you can banish it to set a Golden Lands spell or trap in your deck, but you can only use 1 of the 2 effects per turn. I play 2 copies of Walk Arrow. Walk Arrow has the effect, you can activate it and summon as a level 5 light monster. And if you control an Eldritch monster, When it's summoned, you can then banish one card from your opponent's graveyard. Then I play 3 copies of Conquistador of the Golden Lands. Conquistador has the exact same effect as Walk Hero, only instead of banishing a card from your opponent's graveyard, it destroys the monster on the field. Then to finish up the traps, I play 3 copies of Number Wall, since 13 of the 15 extra deck cards are numbers. And this just makes it so that the only way to destroy a number is in battle with another number. That's it for the traps. Moving on to the extra deck. I play 2 copies of numbers 4, 3, 2, and 1. Each of these cards share the same effect of they can't be destroyed in battle. And then if they battle a monster, they can use a material to then double the attackable numeron gates. Then I play 1 copy of Chaos number 1. When this card's exceeds summoned, it'll banish itself. During the next standby phase, it'll return. And then if Numeron Network's in play, it'll burn your opponent for damage equal to the amount of the combined attack of all Xyz monsters banished by its effect that are still banished. So if you summon this, you banish 3 gates, so that gives you 3,000 damage. But if your opponent had any Xyz monsters in play, then they'll take that as well. But I only play this because you need it to be destroyed by monster effects, so you can then play the 1 copy of Numeronius, which if it's summoned off of Numeron Chaos Ritual, which is the main way you want to do it, it has 10,000 attack points. But it also has the effect of, once per turn, you can use a material, target 1 monster on the field, destroy it. And then at the end of the battle phase, it'll destroy all other monsters in play. And then you get to special summon 1 monster from your opponent's graveyard. So I like this because if I'm somehow able to get it out and my opponent already has a Phoenix Enforcer, then this can actually go to the battle phase, destroy everything, and then bring the Phoenix Enforcer back from your opponent's graveyard with its effects negated. Or not effects negated. It forces it to be summoned in defense position so it can't bring back links. Then I play the 1 copy of Numeronius Numeronia. This card can only be summoned by Numeronius being destroyed by an opponent's card effect. But if this thing is coming out, you should be winning. Just because during your opponent's turn, it has 100,000 attack points. Your opponent must attack it if they have to attack it, or else they lose the duel. And then you can use 1 material to negate an attack on it, and then you gain life points equal to that opposing monster's attack points on field. And then I play 1 copy of number 67, Paradise Smasher, just because I think it's a decent rank 5 where you use 2 materials. Each player rolls 2 dice, or 2 6-sided dice. Whoever rolls higher cannot activate monster effects until the end of the next turn. And if it also has the effect of, if one of the dice rolls is 6, you can treat that entire roll as 7. So if you do it, but you roll like an 8 or higher, and your opponent rolls a singular 6, then you can treat their roll as 7. Then I play 1 copy of number 61, Volcasaurus, just for burning, because it can use 1 material target. It can use 1 material, target 1 monster on the field, destroy it, and then burn your opponent equal to its original attack points. But if it uses this effect, it cannot attack directly that turn. Then to finish off the monsters, I play 2 copies of Eldlich the Mad Golden Lord. And Eldlich the Mad Golden Lord requires an Eldlich monster and then level 5 or higher zombie. Its name becomes Eldlich the Mad Golden Lord while it's on the field. Can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. You contribute 1 zombie monster and target 1 face-up monster opponent controls. Take control of it, but can't attack or activate its effects this turn. So I just like this because you can just take control of an opponent's monster to try to punch them for game. But mainly when this is being summoned, I'm already winning anyway. Anyway, that is it for my Numeron Eldlich deck profile. If you have any ideas of what I can do to improve the deck, any ideas of decks you want me to make, or just decks you want to see face each other, feel free to comment those below. Thanks for watching.